Hello and welcome, one and all. We are slowly loading our cameras into frame, but while that is happening, I'd be glad to introduce Level 1 Adventuring to you all over there in the Twitch-osphere. I am your humble host and dungeon master, Wolf Scott, and this is going to be some 5th edition D&D continuation, a long-awaited continuation of our campaign, The Shards of Chaos, and we are definitely happy to have you here. If you are new to Level 1 Adventuring, who are we, what are we? We are missing a couple of our team members today. We'll talk about that later, but who we are. Essentially, we are a role-playing game stream content platform. We run TTRPGs, big group games like D&D, which you can see new episodes here, old episodes on YouTube if you want to catch up. And also, I run some solo RPGs. I have playthroughs of Outsiders, Notorious, Firelight, Tales from the Burnstones, a bunch of stuff. Once again, new episodes on Twitch, old on YouTube. We run digital RPGs. We got Baldur's Gate. We have City of Heroes. Tons of stuff to see. If you want to get involved with any of that, please go to the Discords where we post the go lives, where we chat, we meme, we talk. And speaking of chatting and meming and all that fun stuff, I'm going to plug something really quick. If you're loading in now, the Discord server for Level 1 Adventuring has a 5th edition play-by-post West Marches campaign. You can join, create a character, multiple DMs running quests in a cursed island chain, player factions. It's a good time. We'd love to see you there, whether you are new or veteran. All the descriptions and the instructions are actually is the word I want to use. Instructions are available on the Discord. I'm going to swing back over to the D&D screen, and I will say a big thank you to Streamlabs, StreamSpell, Stream Audio, Epidemic Sound, yada yada yada, all the services that we use to make our stream look and feel and play well. All those links are down below if you want to use them for your stream as well, and if you do, you get a kickback, we get a kickback, everyone is happy. And with all of that out of the way, I am going to unmute our lovely friends who have been waiting so patiently in the corner so that they may introduce themselves to our friends and fans out there. And we'll start with Garrett. We'll popcorn it, and I'll show the lovely picture of our party as everyone's introducing themselves.
Nice. Hi everyone, I'm Garrett. I play our tiefling wizard Yoan Byrne of the Yarenhall Burns. I'm excited to get back, and I'm already playing Kingdom Hearts boss medley music in my headphones because we're about to face a boss.
So you should too.
We'll get you caught up. We'll get you all caught up. Do I popcorn?
Yeah.
Popcorn?
Oh yeah, you're gonna pop.
Do you not know how popcorn works?
I just didn't know if we were doing it this time. Popcorn Zach.
I asked for it. I should have known. Hi everyone, my name is Zach Mahler. Will be playing our Dragonborn fighter, Zorvarax Verduk, who is equally as lost as I am currently because it's been so long since I've been able to play with y'all. And also at the same time, you all missed, since I was muted, the symphony I was singing for everybody, but our dungeon master deemed it not worthy for your ears.
That's special content, Zach. They're gonna have to subscribe if they want to hear you sing.
Exactly. You had to join us on Patreon. But I will popcorn it to Lauren.
Oh, me?
Me?
You.
Hey, I'm Lauren. I am playing Grey Eden, the half-orc rock gnome. And honestly... What?
The rock gnome, that's new to me. But go for it.
Isn't it rock? Isn't that
you do love rocks, I'm not gonna lie. Gray loves rocks, but she's a druid who loves rocks.
It's been a long time since we played it. I'm gonna say rock, as in classical rock gnome.
Yes.
Also, since Dark Souls, I'm kind of convinced that Mimic is as scary as it gets, so I am utterly unintimidated by what's gonna happen.
Whatever else is gonna happen, that's fair. I'm gonna swing us back into our party screen. There we go. How we feeling? Is it melting? Not yet. We love to see it. Anyway, thank you everyone for introducing themselves. Let's talk about the last time that we left our intrepid heroes, right? The recap. We're going to keep it brief because we definitely want to jump into the story coming up. But the party has been for a long time tracking the whereabouts of a relic that was Stolen, recovered, stolen again. They're not allowed to look at it because the knightly faction that they are allied with, the Valiants, is saying that it's top secret. They got to show it to only the highest brass. But it was taken by a mysterious organization known as the Forsaken. They're essentially a bunch of thieving wizards who like magical artifacts and whatnot. And the party has found their hideout. They've been sneaking and fighting their way through all manner of magical traps and bad guys. They've managed to conscript one of their guardians, a enthusiastic Nothic by the name of Creep, and very recently managed to inspire a change of heart, perhaps, in one of the Forsaken, a tiefling by the name of Devotion. And so, after fighting, as Lauren mentioned, because she's no longer afraid of anything else, a mimic that was guarding some of the Forsaken's treasures, the party has decided they needed to recuperate, rest, prepare themselves for the oncoming confrontation with one, presumably this arm of the Forsaken's leadership. And that is essentially where we've left off. The party has decided to hold up in this makeshift library of confiscated books that the Forsaken has etched out for themselves in the caverns of the coast. And I think that's it. I'm remembering everything. You are in the confiscated library. You have used the secret passageway to bypass the magical barriers that Creep could not get through. So you are headed your way towards the library to take the short rest. Is there any questions, clarifications that the players need before we hop into the moment? Yes, I see shakes.
I am just so heavy into the D&D world that Rock Gnome is my character from
yes, the other campaign.
Podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, so I am so sorry. I'm a druid.
We can get there.
No, I was like, this is a new character development. I'm so excited to see what's happening here.
Rock Gnome. I am a Rock Gnome in my
in my other life.
In another life.
But beyond that, any other clarifications that we need?
Creep is essentially leading us to Jacqueline, right?
Creep is essentially, well, you are taking Creep through a secret passageway that Creep did not know existed, so that you could go to the library to rest and recuperate, and then, presumably after that, Creep will help you find Jacqueline, yes.
Great. That's enough for me.
Okay. So, with that being said, y'all are gonna try to take this short rest, yeah?
I thought we did.
I thought we did already before campaign.
Okay, so you've already rolled your dice and done your things, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, great. To give you a little briefing, a rebriefing, I should say, on the library itself. Oh, hey, Pastor Spy, happy to see you in the chat. Thought they did too. Yes, you thought right. To give you a little rebriefing on the library itself. So once again, the caverns on this side of the Stone Coast have been crafted, roughly through tools and their magic. So this isn't like a properly well-chiseled place, but they have a lot of standing makeshift shelves, both in the walls and standing freely within the center of the space. There are throw rugs about, confiscated fineries, pillows and whatnot that they've taken from wagons of various stripes, both noble and peasant, as they have been fiending upon the countryside, the frontier. And so at this point, you are now carrying with you Fior, the noble, valiant veteran, Percy, his lovable, if somewhat useless, protege, nephew, valiant squire. Devotion, who is the apprentice of the Forsakens, who you've conscripted to hopefully fight for you. And then Creep. So, I guess first things first is y'all work your way back into the tunnels towards the library. And as soon as Creep has the opportunity to see that door finally pushed open from the other side, and the rows upon rows of leather-bound pages, which his one eye has been lusting over for how long, you just see that draw jop all of those razor sharp teeth slack open, the tongue lolls out, there's drool. Pages, so many, and like Creep is so, like on all fours begins to claw his way over towards one of the shelves and just slams his face up against it and rubs his like whole body on the shelving unit. Just it too excited for his own good to be in this space. You can see Devotion gives him a wide berth, a little unnerved as to what may overcome him in this thrall of excitement. And then Percy and Theor also stride their way across the other side of the library to commune with each other. So if there's any conversations or anything like that you would like to have with these party members, this is kind of the situation. We have Creep looking at the books excitedly, Devotion kind of off with herself, and then Theor and Percy in a little gaggle together. Also, for delivering Creep to his holy land, you all can give yourself a point of inspiration for doing that wonderful little side quest. So you can take that. Hey! Ugusaki, nice to see you in chat.
Is Devotion still shackled? Or did I unbind her during battle?
She was unbound. She was actually the last person to get the finishing blow on the mimic with one of her little cantrips. So you can see she's definitely holding her wand. We kind of narrated her at the end of the last session, clutching her wand and shaking and almost sort of reeling with the realization that she's betrayed, essentially her found family. So she's definitely still feeling, at least from what your inclination of seeing her from afar, from a distance, looking a little distraught, but she's unbound currently. Anything?
What a treasure trove we have found of knowledge. Look at all these books. Can you read any of them? I don't know what language they're written in.
Books. Yes, read!
I like them a lot.
Creep grabs one of the books, just hearing you say the word read, and like plums his way over to you and flops in one of the books and like holds it in front of you. Yes, words, devour them. Read them.
Can I read them?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, depending on the volume that he's grabbed. Some.
Which one is he showing me?
Give me, just for fun, let's see. Give me a investigation check.
Can do. That's going to be a 13.
A 13? Okay. It looks like the volume that he's grabbed is largely written in common.
Okay.
13 is not it's not a particularly rare volume, not a particularly deeply magical tome. This might be more of a historical piece of some kind.
I'm very interested. I love reading about old ruins and relics.
Creep sort of sidles up against the wall and like props the book between the two of you. You read with Creep?
I will read with Creep.
Ah, yes. And so he's hunkering down beside you, kind of like at your side. You can see the Creep.
I plunk down too. I like to sit on the ground with Creep. I don't care. Who cares if it's comfortable?
There is a clattering of metal and chainmail as you and Creep sort of cozy up in the corner.
I awkwardly move my glaive like up my back so it doesn't like poke into me while I'm sitting down. Like, hold on. Set it to the side.
And you can see that Creep, while knowledgeable enough to read through these books, definitely does still struggle with some of the common words that aren't directly in his tongue. So there's definitely moments where he's like, the realms watch Capital, yes. Like you're like helping Creep.
He would be like, yes, that's what happened. I can read it myself, but please go on, read it to me.
So you and Creep have a heartwarming little reading sesh in the corner for a little bit. Yoan and Gray, what are y'all up to while they stride over to read through some histories together?
Do we learn anything from said history books, though?
I would say because you are you are an explorer of the old world yourself, this isn't probably anything that's new to you. It's mystifying to Creep. Yeah. To Creep, this is all very, very riveting stuff. But for you, this is probably something you've already tread before in previous investigations.
I'll play tutor for now.
Anything for Yoan and Gray?
I'll take a look around for any spell books in this library.
Okay, absolutely. I would take an Arcana check or perhaps an Investigation check, whichever you're feeling more squirrely
Same
about.
bonus either way.
All right, we love to see it.
Let's go Arcana.
It's more on brand, if anything.
18.
Ooh, 18. Okay, absolutely. You comb through some volumes. I'm gonna roll. Actually, let me see here. Trying to see. This creature would be. Okay. You find. Tucked away into some of the shelves, you've gotten the inkling that the Forsaken, their magic very much relies on the fact that they use illusions and the cover of the natural environment to help them, stalk marks along the countryside to take valuables from them and hide them away in their little coves. You happen to find a spell book. The spell book itself is not of the writings of a learned archmage by any means, but someone who has definitely studied the inner workings of the Forsaken and is familiar with their magics. So you find a spell book, and you can I'll let you research this either on your own time or on stream. But you find a spell book that at least holds a first level's retinue, so 4 first level spells. That are either of the illusion or the enchantment school.
Word.
On my end,
None
I
of
think
these
I'm.
Word.
Sorry,
None of
Garrett.
these
I
are
didn't
transmutation at all. I suppose they'll do.
I'm keeping close to devotion. I don't like seeing things in emotional distress, so I'm watching her, seeing, just keeping an eye on her in a very empathetic way.
Okay. Do you want to interact with her at all, or just kind of see what she feel her out, see what she's doing?
No, but I'm kind of like it's obvious that I'm close to her for a reason. Maybe not totally invading her personal space bubble, but close. And I think I'm kind of, just doing some Gray stuff, playing with some rocks. Maybe doing a little juggle, seeing if I can get a smile out of her at all.
To this, Devotion, it definitely seems like lost in her thought. She's looking at her wand, recounting the events of the past couple of hours, which are certainly a far cry from what she thought she'd be doing. And I think at that point when she starts to hear some of the rocks rolling around in your palm, she sort of, looks, catches a glance of you from the corner of her eye, and there is like a soft, chortle that escapes under her breath, although she still seems somewhat muted. You were one of the people who, along with Musa D, who had sort of reached out to her and tried to bridge the gap between the party and her. So I definitely think there is a familiarity there, at least more so than some of the other party members who chose not to interact with Devotion. And so after her sort of huff, she looks over to Gray. I can see what you're doing. It's appreciated, but there's no need to worry about me. Well, and you can definitely see she's struggling to find her words. She looks over and she catches Theor cutting her like an icy glare from across the room, and sort of shirks back for a moment. I don't want to bristle anyone. I know that I'm already under somewhat of surveillance here.
Is there a reason Theor specifically has an issue with her?
Mostly because he's a knight of the realm and she is a member of the Forsaken. So at least in terms of like his obligation to keep peace and law, she is essentially, you know, a magically powered bandit. She's a danger in that sense.
I want to throw one of the rocks at Theor so it like gently clunks him in the head. Just gently, but like as like a hey, lighten up kind of thing. To make her laugh again.
As you are juggling the stones in your palms, one of them flies out of the corner, a small imbuement of magic across its surface. As you can see, he's like cutting a glare at Devotion, and when Percy says something, "Oh, Uncle, if you would just," and like Theor, you know, turns his attention away for a moment just to hit the rock, punk, on the side of the head as he turns to look at Percy, and then sort of catches a glance back at you. You can hear him grumble under his breath, "These cursed magic slingers," and just sort of like takes his attention back to Percy. And once again, you hear Devotion chuckle a little bit under her breath as she sort of leans in a little closer. I don't think he's a person you want to get under the skin of. He's a talented swordsman from what I see. There's no need to gain his ire on my account.
I just kind of gently touch her arm and I say, safe.
And she, as you withdraw your palm, she puts her hand on sort of where you've touched and lingers there for a moment, sort of that word resonating with her, especially given the circumstances, and smiles softly and says, "We'll see, but thank you all the same."
I shrug and I walk away like that part in Elf when he's like, "No big deal, world's best coffee." He walks away.
Do you remember that part? All right. Anything else for the party members while we're here?
No.
All right.
Deep cut of a reference for
Sometimes you know the classics and the deep cuts, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, it's true. If you know, you know.
Yoan, you got your spells. Gray and Zorvarax, take a point of inspiration for interacting with our NPC friends and confiding in them.
I like living in this world.
I like living in this world.
I think I like this little life.
And after you all take a little bit of time to commune with your newfound party members here, dust off your armors and bandage your wounds from the previous encounter. Oh, we'll also say, because we did mention this off stream, but now I'll mention it here, for any of the members of our party who are not present, just imagine they are taking a little bit longer to bind their wounds and rest and recuperate, so will not be present during the conflicts that may arise today. But as you all rest, dust yourselves off, and try again, as the song famously states. I'm going to ask for the 3 party members to give me a perception check. And I will allow all of you to roll this with advantage because we're going to say between all of the other party members alongside of you, Creep, Devotion, the 2 knights, you have a lot of people who are out looking over your shoulder.
16.
13.
13.
16, 13, 13. As you all are preparing to march back into the fray, as it were, behind you, you hear a sort of resounding thrum. And as you turn around, you can see that the large oaken double doors that Viola had pried open with superhuman strength a couple sessions ago, the same doors that were bound by these runes that were once keeping Creep away from the library itself. There is a reverberation of magic that sort of sends itself through the grains of the wood. You can see in that sort of dark mahogany slight slivers of a bluish pale light that are stitching themselves across the door until they all interweave and sort of create a matrix of light that shields itself in front of the door until finally you can see that the door itself seems in some way magically barred from magically barred. I'll say that. I'll stop there. It is at that moment that the air around you becomes chillingly cold, and from seemingly no direction, which we'll get to in a second, you see slivers of a glass-like projectile cutting through the air from in your direction, heading from the opposite end, from the tunnel door that you originally entered from to take your rest, as it emanates, sort of manifests in midair and flies towards the party members. I am going to have to make some quick rolls right here.
No.
Oh, yeah, no. Okay. That is looking like a hit. I'm gonna randomize these. So we got Zorvarax, Gray.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, it's an 18 on the roll before I add anything else, so it's looking pretty good. Zorvarax, Gray, and Yowen. All right, so I'm gonna roll. Oy vey, as they say. All right, so that is gonna be 1 there. We are gonna say. Make sure I got there to hit down. Okay, that's going to be another. And then 1 more. Ooh, that is going to be a miss. Okay, so the slivers of ice erupt outward from seemingly nowhere, as from behind them, as you sort of squint your eyes as they manifest, you can see forsaken wizards. They were once covered in an illusory veil of invisibility that has now been peeled away as magic erupts from their fingertips. Icy shards barrel towards the party. 1 icy shard goes wide, shattering against the magical barrier which has now ensorcelled the door behind you. However, 2 icy spikes strike true. 1 piercing Zorvarax's armor, and the other hitting Yowen. So,
what was the attack roll on the one that hit me?
15 plus 6.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
Oof.
Okay, so for Zorvarax, for Zorvarax and Yowen, that is initially going to be. Little Jeezy says, "Woo! We're starting it off." Actually, speaking of starting it off, since they've now just been attacked from the darkness, let's make the music a little bit more dramatic.
Oh, great! Yeah, let's make it even more tense.
Let's make the music a little more dramatic. That is going to be 6 points of cold damage.
Ouch!
Don't like that.
I don't either.
And
I only have resistance against not cold.
not the ones that I want. Zorvarax, 6 I say. And since Zorvarax, we narrated, was close to our friend Creep, once the initial blade of ice enters your scale, Zorvarax, there's a moment where the ice sort of reverberates with power and then shatters as icy shrapnel then explodes outward in all directions.
No.
I say yes. I'm going to need a dexterity save from you, Zorvarax, as well as I'm going to give Creeps on my end. He's a creep.
Can I jump in front of Creep?
You wanna willingly take more damage to Creeps to save Creep?
Take a bonus action, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
I will. Zorvarax will jump in front.
I'll give you a point of inspiration for. All right.
I think he would do that.
I'll give you a point of inspiration for putting yourself in harm's way.
Does that work though? Because I'm the one that got the bolt of light.
You would have had to have rolled.
My body?
Yeah. Yes, you would have had to have rolled anyway. So what you're gonna
roll away from Creep?
So once it explodes, it's an AoE. Anyone within the zone and yours.
I'm taking it off.
All right, since you're taking it all, I'm gonna say you're gonna have disadvantage on this on this save.
Oh no, really? Okay, I'll take that. So the first was a 13. Oh boy. Okay, so that's gonna be what am I adding to this again? Sorry.
Dexterity.
Dexterity save. Oh man, that's an 8. I'm sorry, everyone.
Creep.
I sacrificed myself.
Oh, just so you know, Passive Spy did give you a reroll. If you would like to spend it, that is in the chat right now.
It's a disadvantage, so I have to take the worst one anyway, right?
That is true. You would have to take the worst. So you can bank an inspiration for the courtesy of Passive Spy.
Thanks. Passive Spy. Hopefully, I'll be able to use that later.
As the blade of ice explodes and Creep raises his arms, Zorvarax, you actually you almost try to hug yourself to keep the ice captured within the blast zone, and within the blast zone it is, as the ice just pierces your own arms from the other side. You're gonna take another 6 points of cold damage.
Oh, okay. 6?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still standing.
Okay.
The battle has barely begun.
I was very worried about that. Okay.
And then Yoan.
And I get the inspirations.
And you get the inspiration. You, I believe, cannot shield yourself from that one, so that will be the 6 points of cold damage. But similarly, I'm going to roll a dice to see if any of our other friends were in your blast zone here. Okay. It looks as though both Theor and Percy were just close enough to suffer the slights of this exploding ice shard.
Not Percy.
Can you give me a dex save for our friend Theor, and I will give us one for Percy. Oh gosh.
Oh shucks.
Oh shucks.
That's not.
It's bad, but I'm gonna decide if I want to use inspiration or not.
Fair.
Can you?
I only got a +1. No, he's gonna tank it. He rolled a 5.
Rolled a 5? Okay. So aside from the 6 initial damage that you took, there is going to be another 6 points of cold damage that's spread to both Theor and Percy. Alright. Oh, Passive Spy has also just gifted a reroll to Yoan in the chat. That is live.
I'm gonna bank it.
Alright. And then keeping the rerolls coming. So Percy, make a note of that. And then Theor, you already took your damage. Passive says he's going to inspire us all if it kills us, and it just might.
Already almost did.
You can see the ice blast off of the impact that just landed in Yoan's body. Theor raises his shield, but not quick enough as more icy shards buffet him. Ah, Percy, behind me! And you can hear, Uncle, oh! As he also gets perforated with some frost. That 6 damage on top of Percy's 15 now puts him at 9 HP. So he's not looking so great after that.
I got 6 left. Suck it up.
It is at that point now with the 3 Forsaken who have now manifested out of their veil of invisibility. Right? You hear a clap emanating from the hallway as finally one more illusory veil drops, and you come face to face with none other than Jacqueline. Now, in my notes, I should say this. I have her name written several times as both Stone Sworn and Stone Eye, because apparently I couldn't make up my mind. So we are going to officially con that as Stone Eye. Jacqueline Stone Eye. Jacqueline is wearing the tattered garb of the Forsaken that you're used to seeing, the dark grays, the battered talismans of their former magisterium sex, right, around her neck. She appears to be a dwarf woman. She has reddish tan skin, thick black hair, which is woven into long, flat braids, and a single goatee, which has also been braided into a long rope that sort of hangs right down towards her collarbone. Her one eye, a frosty blue, fiendish stare, but the other, as her name implies, replaced with a false orb of carved granite. And the orb itself, the false eye, seems to have a rune which is carved into its surface. And so she claps her way in. My. You've been routing around these tunnels for quite long enough. It's good that we should finally come face to face.
I spit up some blood because I'm very close to death already. You should be so lucky.
Lucky?
We've been looking for you.
I seem to hold every advantage, and may I remind you that you weren't the only one, she says, tapping her eye, which glows with an arcane flash. Who's been watching you?
Lucky us! We're worth watching! I talk to them.
And it seems we're a couple of spells in your debt, and he flicks his wand.
Ooh!
They're already dancing.
Jacqueline smiles and waves her hands out wide. We don't have to be doing this right now. You can, of course, lay down your arms. Your spell works. We don't have to come to Crossroads so soon.
Oh, so you'll give us over the thing that you took from us. That's excellent news. Happy to hear it.
That prize was won by us, and it shall be kept by us, but you can escape with your lives, and that enough is a prize worth running for.
That is the plan. That is the plan, everyone, right? We escape with our lives, but also the thing. Are we just gonna talk about this, or...
Why are we wasting our time?
Am I right, Theor? Come on.
Theor draws his blade. Shing! By my name, Theor Graham, arm of the Valiants, I will not yield, and I command you to lay down in the name of the realm, for the good of the realm. Yes, what he said! You go, Uncle! Percy yells from behind his shoulder.
There. I cough up more blood. What they said. I agree.
Mouths of the Valiants.
A Valiant, eh? I'm sure the ransom will be quite high once we're done with you. Fine.
2 Valiants? 2 Valiants.
Don't encourage them! Fine. If that's the way it shall be, then so shall it be done. Forsaken! Finish them! Take them alive! I'm sure they'll be worth a few coppers at least. And with that, you can see magic flares on her own palms as she prepares the arcane onslaught to come. That is going to be the rolling of some initiative, my friends.
Sounds good to me. Maybe not so good.
Oof.
Ooh, actually, never mind.
You know what?
3.
18.
Oh god, that wasn't even worth it. I burned an inspiration. I got 11 for Yoan.
Okay.
I thought it was 16, but it was a 19, so I got an 18. Because I'm a big boy.
Sorry. As always, hold your numbers in your minds, because I'm also rolling a couple things on my end as well, so I'll probably need to re-up your numbers once I have them down.
You don't have to worry about that.
No, I don't have to worry about that?
Go after us. It's fine.
Actually, they truly did not roll that impressively. So you may be in a better position than you think here. Okay, Creep's getting a decent roll. What about our good friend Percy? Oh my god! Percy, ever useless, still nat 20ing his.
Oh, great.
Oh my god.
Percy.
And then Devotion, coming up with a respectable... Okay, so if I can have Yoan, your initiative.
11.
11. Gray, if I can have...
Are we having Theor go on my turn?
Yes, we can do that to help things go around. Gray?
3.
3. Oh, little Jeezy's giving Gray a point of inspiration. And then finally, Zorvarax.
18.
I'll
8.
take it.
Ooh, okay. All right, so I'm now going to mark the initiative and announce it for everyone so that we are all in the know. So starting us off with a very impressive natural 20 is Percy, followed by Zorvarax, followed by D for Devotion. I have to remember who is D. Followed by Creep, because he's a creep. And then...
He's not a weirdo.
He's not a weirdo. Then it looks like Jacqueline, the Forsaken, and Jacqueline, Forsaken, Yoan, and Gray. I think that is everybody. Okay. Oh, Yoan is also Theor. I'll make a note of that. Okay. And then Gray. Okay. As battle is joined, you're going to notice a couple things. Some of these spells were pre-cast, but I'm allowing them now to be narratively demonstrated for you. As Jacqueline holds her hands out wide, magic sparking on either side, you can see that fanning out of either side of her are, once again, you've come to know the wizards. They've used this trick on you a few times. Some phantom illusory duplicates of her fanning out on all ends. There are some mirror images that have been manifested from her form. Similarly, but slightly different. The Forsaken, which have now revealed themselves through their invisibility, you can see the edges of their cloaks, their shawls, they seem to waver and shift, almost like you're looking at the dance of air across hot pavement. Their movements seem to lag behind them a little bit as they move. So they are draped in that. Finally, as the top of the round begins, Jacqueline, with a smile on her face, says, "I don't know if you've noticed, you're already locked in here with us. And because it seems like you forget things rather quickly, you might have overlooked this." As she snaps her fingers, and all around you the bookshelves begin to shake and jitter as some of the spines of the books begin to dance on the shelves, and then flying out in all directions, soaring across the library airscape, fluttering like birds and bats. The books animate, and they begin to fly above you in all directions, as the battlefield is now littered with a swarm of sentient books. To this, of course, Creep raises his claws. "What? The books! We have been betrayed! Betrayed!" Obviously forlorn at such a development.
We were just reading these books.
Yeah, actually, the one that Creep was like holding lovingly, like flies out of his hands. No! No! As it like takes to the skies.
Not their fault, Creep.
So
they know not what they do.
They know not what they... Jacqueline just smiles at that line, knowingly. So that means top of the round. There is a bit of an environmental effect happening here, so at the top of the round, I'm going to have to ask the party members to give me a dexterity saving throw as the books soar through the air, swing down, buffet them, try to butt up against their armors and bop them on the heads.
I'm using a point of inspiration for that. Fail one roll. Gonna go ahead and take that now. Kaboom.
Unnatural 20.
Ooh, much better.
An unnatural
8 from
20.
Yoan, 7 from Theor.
Okay.
And a 11 from Zorvarax.
Okay. Just double checking Devotion's health since she's a new addition to your growing party here. Okay, so if you got above a 10 or higher, you managed to swat away the books or leap out of the way or otherwise, not get hailed by the books. You take 0 damage. However, if you got under a 10, the books fall onto you, they batter you, they bop you in a large throw as you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
That's heavy books. Hardbound. No paperbacks.
I would like to just make a point that the name of that attack, at least in the actual monster stat block, is called Book Club. And I do appreciate it for the pun. Alright, so that is going to be top of the round. Percival. Speaking of Percival, Percival has now been battered by these books, sort of like raises, oh, please, and has now already been reduced to like half of his health from like one ice blast and some books. So not doing too hot. But upon rolling initiative, which Percy just has, he is immediately stricken with the frightened condition due to his feature, Live Another Day. So long as Percival remains frightened, he has advantage on all stealth checks made to hide from enemies. So Percy, being buffeted by the books, is going to first move behind one of the bookshelves that are facing away from the wizards who have just interrupted your rest. Gonna make a check. Okay. That's a pretty high stealth check for Percy. You can see cowers down into one of the bookshelves where some of the larger volumes have exited to now become flying projectiles, and sort of hunkers down with his hands over his head. It'll all be over soon, little boy. Just bear down, buckle in, and has now taken his action to hide himself. That is all that Percy can do right now. That is going to normally be Zorvarax, but because I'm a terrible DM, snap my fingers, legendary action! You can see, as Jacqueline watches as you all begin being battered and hit upon by these books, that smirk still caught on her face. It's not too late to surrender, loves. As like you see her take like one sort of, it looks like a leap upward, but then as her feet leave the ground, she winks out of existence. There is sort of a fading blue light, and moments later, you see the light appear above your heads. Jacqueline has seemingly teleported towards the ceiling, but how is she there, you ask, as you notice that Jacqueline is now flipped upside down, her feet firmly planted on the ceiling, and she is standing there as if gravity has no bearing on her, with the exception of her long ropes and braids, which now sink towards the floor, which are for her now the ceiling.
Okay. So it's not like she's in a temporal shift or something. Her body is still showing that gravity is working normally.
Correct. Yeah, it's like her boots are super glued to the ceiling almost.
Yeah. Okay.
And then she just smiles.
Ceiling? Sorry.
No, you're good. I would say standard ceiling is probably like we'll say 15 out 20 feet, 20 feet, depending on what you want to do.
Cool.
She smiles down at the party, arms outstretched. Come and get me. And then that is her legendary. So, Zorbrax, that is going to be your move officially.
Okay. And she's... How far away was she from where I started to begin with? Sorry.
No, you're good. They sort of ambushed y'all in the center of the room. Yeah. So they were if we're gonna say that you were in the middle of the room, yeah, they're probably 30-odd feet away.
Okay, so first thing Zorvarax is going to do, as he's bleeding, obviously close to death, 2 HP left, he's going to stand upright, beat his chest really hard, and take a very deep breath, and do second wind.
Nice!
To get some HP back, so let's see how much that nets me. I have to remember what I have to roll for that, sorry... a D.
I think it's 1d10 plus your fighter level.
I'll take that. So a D10 plus 2? I don't mind if I do. Ooh, alright, so that's gonna be 8 HP back.
Nice.
And then, because I think it was our last session, you gave me the Zorvarax unleashed a little bit of his ancestors dragoon.
Yes, you found a secret tome there.
He's gonna take his deep breath. He's gonna grab his glaive, and he's gonna jump up at. Can I jump and attack at the same time?
Well, yeah, the jump would be your movement. Yeah. So you can definitely do your attack on top of that. Jacqueline seems wholly unprepared for the massive bulk of scales and muscle and armor that is Zorvarax. Heading towards the ceiling, glaive in hand. Yes, you may make an attack against Jacqueline.
Okay, so that's gonna be. Ooh, that's gonna be a 17 to hit. Yeah, 17.
A 17 to hit. Let me double check something.
12 plus 5, yeah.
Okay. That should hit. However, Jacqueline, seeing Zorvarax barreling up at her, eyes wide, almost instinctively just holds her hands downward as another flash of blue light erupts at her palms, and you can see almost similarly to that networked matrix of light that is ensorcelled the door, now appears in front of her as a reaction. Vroom, she ignites a shield spell in your direction. So that is going to be +5 to her AC, which is just going to make that 17 shy.
We are only level 2.
Listen, I'm keeping things exciting for y'all.
So he tries and he falls back down, but it's okay because fall damage is negated if it's less than 30 feet, I think. I have the note somewhere here. Let me double check.
Oh yeah, you kind of have like a light fall.
Just like boom, it's like I'm always with the flight.
Yes.
Jump spell. Yeah.
So your glaive digs itself deep into her shield. You can see the blade almost pokes through uncomfortably close to her face. But as she releases the armor around herself, you fall back to the floor. She is breathing a little more deeply, a little more suddenly considering her positioning now that she knows this capability of yours. But she is safe for now. Anything else from you other than the jump, the attack?
Movement, attack, bonus action. I'm good.
Okay. Moving into Devotion's turn. Now, Devotion is still very much wrestling with her thematics. Devotion to Jacqueline, to the party. Where does she stand? Will she strike? It was one thing defending her life and yours against a mimic, but now faced before her once very respected leader, the boots are quivering a little bit. So we're going to say that for now, Jacqueline, similarly, I can't talk, to Percy, is going to be affected by a frightened ability into our condition until she otherwise works herself out of it or she is helped out of it. But let me take a look back at my screen here. Let's take Devotion. Seeing Jacqueline begin her magical capabilities, staring at her down from the ceiling, Jacqueline points down a finger. It's not too late. Renounce your false allegiance to these stealers of relics, and you can find yourself back in my good graces, Devotion. And Devotion, unsure of where she stands, sort of runs towards one of the shelves that breaks eyeline with Jacqueline, similarly to Percy, and she is just going to hunker down, breathing heavily, clutching her wand. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Sort of over and over under her breath. That is Devotion. And now up is He's a Creep. Okay, so Creep, Creep, his one eye, I'm not quite sure how a brow furrows when you have one eye, but you imagine that leathery skin wrinkles into a gnarled grimace as trains his gaze on one of the wizards who are still floor-bound and grits his teeth. The books. You make them hurt, Creep. You make them fly. Creep hurt you. And Creep rushes with reckless abandon towards one of the whiz-bizzes and is going to attempt a claw strike on that.
Let's go.
Oof. Unfortunately, Creep rolls a big fat natural 1. So even with that sizable attack bonus for his large frame, it is his announcement of his intent gives the wizard plenty of time to prime themselves for the strike. You see the claw lurch forward, the wizard moves in kind, and you can see that sort of illusory vaporous form slide along with them as Creep's claw digs itself into the now empty bookshelf and then tears out a chunk. Creep will hurt you! But has not yet made contact. So that is Creep's turn, moved and attack, which means it is Jacqueline's turn.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
So Jacqueline, seeing Creep suddenly rush into the fray, looking very confused by this sudden development. How did you find your way in here? He's not supposed to be with the books. It was your doing, wasn't it? Fine, Creep. If you wish to betray us, I'll show you what it means to be on my bad side. As her arcane eye, her little replacement eye, begins to glimmer with ill intent. So I'm going to have to look at this ability. Okay. And then I'm going to have to look at Creep. Okay. I'm going to make a roll.
I'm not liking this.
Okay.
Already.
Creep, unable to, tear his gaze away from Jacqueline, looks upward, baring his teeth, arms outstretched. You can't hurt Creep anymore! Creep defies you! And then suddenly, sort of like eyes go wide, stops in place. Time almost seems to slow as Jacqueline's eye, the rune, glows with otherworldly light, and you can see that same brand reflecting into Creep's own eye, as she's standing upside down on the ceiling. Creep, I will have you see every injustice that your betrayal here has done in the eyes of the Weave. And as she speaks these words sort of resounding, Creep in some way glimpses the entire sort of multiversal reality of his own betrayal and begins to be crushed by witnessing his own deeds. That is going to be 13 psychic damage to Creep. Gonna make a note here. Creep falls to his knees, clawed hands on either side of his head. What is happening to Creep? As Jacqueline just snickers from the ceiling. Yes, Creep. Feel it. Feel what you've wrought. Now Creep is officially bloodied. Half health is Creep after all of these various onslaughts. Jacqueline is going to then move.
Glad he's still standing.
Yeah, he's a tanky one.
13?
Yeah.
I thought he was. Shoot, we're level 2.
Yeah. Creep's got some meat on his bones. We'll put it that way. Jacqueline is going to walk her way across the ceiling, and she is going to take refuge behind one of the shelving units to give herself some cover. But I think that is all she can do, since I don't think she can take any bonus actions. Quickly reviewing her abilities to make sure that that is done. That is done. Okay, so with Jacqueline's turn now flooding Creep's mind with other supernatural dread, it is going to be the Forsaken. Okay, so the wizards rush into the fray. One wizard is already engaged with Creep, so another is going to come to his aid. And the other is going to stay relatively away from the party, still taking cover behind the bookshelf. Okay, so first things first. That wizard, seeing that Zorvarax can now jump 30 feet clear into the air and attack Jacqueline, definitely doesn't want that to happen again. So is going to make an attack. That is going to be a 19 to AC.
Of course that hits.
All right. With that, you see not the same explosive icy shard that erupted from their hand before, but instead a singular line of frosty energy head in your direction. That is going to be 4 points of cold damage.
All right.
And your speed is reduced by 10 feet.
I can't jump high.
As you feel your knees begin to lock up, you feel a chill run through your bones.
I'm Dragonborn. I'm cold-blooded.
It's even colder than your blood. freezes you in place. And that takes us to the other two wizards who have yet to act. Double checking their things right now. Okay. They are going to get on either side of Creep as they both sort of flicker their palms as static electricity dances across their hands, and then they both lurch forward with palm strikes in Creep's directions, electricity crackling from their gloves. Okay. One is a hit. I'm going to make a note of that. The other would be a miss. However, Jacqueline's eye sort of rolls around at an odd angle and shifts in the direction of the missing wizard's strike. As you hear her mumble out an incantation, "I have foreseen this moment, and you have struck true." As Jacqueline ignites one of her portents that she has seen into the future. She makes that miss a hit. So that is going to be 2 hits on Creep. Creep is now struck on either side by 2 electrical palm strikes. You can hear him wailing in pain. You can see his skeleton sort of like, in a cartoon when he gets zapped by electricity, you can see a flash of their skeleton through the strike. You can see that sizzling across his scales as he is now at 10 hit points. But that is all of the wizards. Yoan, that's going to be you.
Can you give me a quick summary of the battlefield?
I would love to. Jacqueline is on the ceiling, but sort of taking cover behind one of the top end of the bookshelves. That's towards the left-hand side of the arena. That's also where these 2 wizards are beating up Creep. Then on the opposite side of the battlefield, on the right-hand side, you have 1 wizard taking cover, and then the rest of the party is pretty much in the center of the room, 30-odd feet away, with Devotion and Percy behind y'all, taking cover and whimpering in fear.
When you say Jacqueline's taking cover, mechanically, is that doing anything?
Yes, I believe that would not be full cover. What is it? I always mess up the numbers for all the different cover.
It's +2 for half and
yes.
+5 for full.
That'll be the...
Also, is her shield permanent?
No. Shield has a finite duration. And I double-checked that for you right here. I believe it lasts... Oh, that's... I believe it lasts for the round. I'm double-checking here.
I think it's till your next turn.
Next turn.
Yeah. I think so, too.
Which, she activated it before her turn, and then her turn happened?
She activated it as a reaction to the attack.
To Zorvarax?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who acted before her?
Was before her turn.
Correct.
So it's gone.
Gotcha.
Alright, so she's getting a +2 to AC and Dex saves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Dex.
If I were to cast Burning Hands...
Hypothetically.
Mm-hmm. Could I get Jacqueline and another Forsaken without getting Creep?
You could, but you would have to move closer to get that angle.
Fine.
Okay.
Then Yoan's gonna roll in flicking his wand again, getting fire build up into it. And as he's waving it, go, I told you I owed you one. And he's going to fire off Burning Hands at those 2 targets. I need a DC 13 dexterity saving throw from both of my friends.
I would love to. So for the wizard, is dexterity save?
Yes.
Forsaken Wizard just makes a 14. And okay. Jacqueline, you notice, Yoan, that Jacqueline's form as the fire wheels toward her, there almost seems to be a natural, intangible quality to her aura, which almost helps repel magic to a degree. Her resistance, let's say, to magic is slightly higher than the average being.
Boo.
So she gets an 18. So you got a 14 and an 18.
So half damage for both our friends, but that's okay. They're going to take... That's going to be a 2, so that's 7. And then... That's another 2, so 9. It's going to be 4 points of fire damage for both of them.
Okay, 4 points of fire damage. The flames streak across the library shelving units. Some of the tomes that weren't animated, unfortunately, get caught in the crossfire, and you see them fall out of their compartments into now smoking cinders. Oh,
and also, if I get the bookshelves in that, they can't make dex saves, so that would be 9 points of fire damage to them.
Oh, for the... Sorry, one more time? For the logic on that?
That cone of fire hits the bookshelves. They can't make dex saves, so it's just 9 fire damage to the bookshelves, if that helps us with the layer actions at all.
Oh, interesting. I like where your head's at. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so if it's 9 fire damage... Let me see bookshelves here. Nice. I didn't realize I'd be tracking hit points for bookshelves, but hey, it's D&D, baby. It's what we do. So yes. Because books are largely made of paper as well, they are vulnerable to fire damage. So a large chunk of the books you can see sort of flapping their pages like animate bats begin to slowly fall and crumble, the pages loosening as they hit the stones as now crumbled and burned piles of ash. This, of course, will no doubt make Creep sad sooner rather than later.
I was going to say, yo, and we just read that book.
Yes, the history of the realm's capital.
Committed to memory like a normal person.
But Jacqueline and the wizard are both buffeted by flames. The wizard actually is brought to bloodied status by 1 gout of flame, as sort of holds up their hands, their robes being engulfed by the fire. But Jacqueline, however, far more resistant, raises her hand. Some of the flames dance across her flesh, but she remains standing and not bloodied as she just sort of shoots Yoan a smarmy grin.
Ah, you would have made a good recruit perhaps once, but now I'll have to show you what a true wizard can do.
I was going to say it doesn't look like you'd be very good at the Magisterium, but I think we know that already, don't we?
There's a growl underneath her throat as the battle continues. Yoan, anything else for you?
Nope.
Okay. That means Theor, I believe, is now up, and then Gray, you're on deck.
How could I forget? Okay, I think Theor is going to head for those 2 Wizzies that are beating on Creep.
Okay.
And he is going to make 2 melee attacks.
Ooh.
And... No, just going to make 2 melee attacks. One of our friends there is wounded, yeah?
Correct.
Gonna go for that one first.
Okay. Just know that as Theor readies his blade, you will suffer disadvantage due to the strange, vaporous... Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, though. Did my friend make a constitution?
Oh, very good point. Suffered 5 points of damage, so I need to get 10.
DC 10.
DC 10. Double check their con, which is not great. Ooh, okay. Did not save. However, oh, can I use this again? Let me double check. No, that's a reaction. She already used it once this round. Cannot unwind fate for her ally. As you see, after recoiling from the blast of flames, the visage of the blur, the miasma around him has faded, and now the blade can strike uninterrupted.
All right, plus 40.
Does that affect my slowdown at all? Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. The ice strike that I got?
Unfortunately, no. The ice strike is, it doesn't have to maintain concentration, yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
16 to hit on the one that's not blurred.
That is a hit. Double checking our spell repertoire here before I immediately confirm. Do I have it? Do I have a shield? I do. I do have a shield. Okay. We are gonna spend that. So that is 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yes. Changing the AC suddenly as once again holds out an arm as another shield of light emanates from his palm. 18 to AC.
Burning inspiration for the second attack.
Nice.
Come on.
For nothing.
Mm.
Like 6.
Another hand meets Theor's other blade as he rebuffs both strikes with magical shields at bay.
When you hit an aluminum baseball with an aluminum bat.
Stings your hands. Ah, ghost time! Alright, now just want to make sure I have their spell slots that they have. Okay, they used one of those. They have that active. Okay. Making sure I keep them. Yep.
And that's all Theor can do.
Perfect. I mean, what? Gray. That is going to be your turn, then we're back to the top of the round.
Dope. Forgive me, I've been trying to look this up and my Wi-Fi is really not working with me.
No.
My menacing feat.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that, please?
Menacing, like the... Do you have the feat or do you have the trait as an orc?
I have the feat. Yeah, additional features and traits. Feat. Menacing.
Okay.
Menacing feat. There is a half-orc racial feature that just gives you the intimidation
skill, yeah.
So that can't be used as like an attack.
No, but you could try to intimidate someone, and
No,
depending.
I'm gonna attack. Do
damage. You gotta do damage.
The closest bad guy to me is gonna get a splash of poison spray.
Ooh, okay. Poison spray.
It's 10 feet, so if I need to move closer to someone, I will.
Gotcha. You do, and you can. All right,
Cool.
and then poison spray. Double checking here. I'm seeing if I have to make a Constitution save. Heard. Okay, so gonna roll that con save. Ooh, not looking great for this wizard. That is going to be an 11.
Cool. Oh no, I'm gonna use that inspo. 15.
15. I'm sorry. What's your spell save DC? Because he just has to make a con save, which he failed, I think.
Oh, great. I don't need to roll. Oh,
So they just have to roll for damage, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Poison spray.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Okay. I'm gonna do... This is incredible. It's a cantrip. You know what? Just kidding.
Just kidding.
I thought I could cast it at a first level, but I can't.
Mm.
It's just when I reach level 5, it's 2d12.
Oh, heard.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ooh, 11 plus 5, 16.
I believe, unless you have a feat, the damage should just be what you roll.
It wouldn't be plus my spell attack bonus?
To hit, yes, but
Okay.
to damage, nor. But, with an 11, Gray, you can tell me how this gout of noxious fumes that you conjure completely either asphyxiates or or decimates this wizard here.
Yeah, I want it to come out like, I want to get closer to him and I want him to like watch me like, what the hell is she doing? And then I want it to come out like a burp. And as I burp, it comes out in like this green. He's like, what the heck is that? And then he sniffs it. He starts gagging slowly. Like, and then all of a sudden, he just starts barfing.
Ugh.
From his eyes.
Oh my
his
God.
nose, and he starts screaming in the most embarrassing way. Like, how embarrassing this is the last image we all have of you. And then he just crumbles quickly.
I love that Gray is either like lovingly handing people rocks and saying like safe, or making people puke blood until they die. I love that is the range. We love the range. Yes, you watch as all of what Gray just said happens. The wizard pukes their guts out to death. And then rather embarrassingly collapses into a pile of their own blood and vomit, and is erased from existence. That wizard is done. Anything else for you, Gray? You moved, you cast the cantrip.
I think I've done enough.
I think I like this little Alright, heading back to the top of the round with Percy on deck and all of these NPCs that unfortunately are following us around here. As words remind me of who I really am, as the top of the round triggers, the remaining books which have not been incinerated by Yoan's fiery blast continue to swing through the air, buffet the party members, or at least attempt to. I'm going to need some dex saving throws for the party members.
The book's being animated.
Yes.
Is that a concentration spell?
No, this is a sort of an environmentally...
It's a gotcha.
Yeah.
Alright, dexterity save?
Yes.
Ooh, alright. I got 16.
16. What do we got for, I see Yoan's doing calculations.
11
13.
for Yoan, 2 for Theor.
2 for Theor. Okay. So once again, if you got 10 or higher, you managed to bat away or push away the hail of pages and leathers that are slapping you across the face. Those who got under are going to have those same leather book bindings battered against their skulls for 3 points of bludgeoning damage. And running through our tally of friends, Creep manages to rebuff the strikes, as do Devotion. I said Creep, Devotion. Am I piloting anybody else? No. I just have Percy, who does fail.
No.
So Percy, unfortunately, as he takes cover behind the bookshelves, boom, 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 you just see him being like, at this point now covered in like a small pile of large tomes. You can just see the top of his head and his glasses poking out as bruises and welts form across his pale, scrawny form. You can see he is quite nearly incapacitated, quite nearly KO'd at this point in the corner. You can see he probably coughs up. You see a tooth like fly out of his mouth. Don't worry, still standing, figuratively speaking. All right, so that is. Speaking of Percy, Percy's still frightened. But what else can Percy do in this frightened, battered state? Doesn't have much in the ways of attacking, but Oh, I should. Okay, good thing to remember. He can actually do that as a bonus for the future. Can actually sneak around. He's going to take a bonus action, cunning action, to dash around the bookshelf to where one of the wizards have been firing the icy beams at Zorvarax. And because the stealth was so high, still manages to keep that going. Now, cannot make an attack without a penalty, but can, as an action, take the help action. As you see Percy sneak up behind the wizard, battered, beaten, there's some blood coming out of the side of his mouth, his glasses are a little bit... come here, you rogue! As he grabs the top of the back of his cape and folds it over his head, almost like a hockey fight. Just sort of throws the top of his robes over the wizard's head, and the wizard's trying to push his arms out of the sides of his cape, taking the help action to put some advantage on strikes on that particular wizard.
That a boy.
You can see Theor looks over his shoulder at Percy, desperately trying to keep the wizard contained. That's right, my boy. Keep him down. Don't let go. I'll try, Uncle. I'll try. And you can see, even this wizard, who is by no means a very strong person, is almost able to lift Percy off the ground by struggling. But he is continuing to hold firm. So that is Percy. Stealth is broken, but did manage to sneak up for the help, which means Zorvarax, it is your turn, and then followed up is Devotion.
Okay. How far am I from said help that Percy is currently strangling with his own cape?
That is only
attempting to.
Yeah, no, that's only a 30-foot hop, skipping, and jumping away.
Oh, but I'm slow because I'm icy.
That's true.
But wait, no, my movement speed is 20.
Right.
So I'm gonna move 20 feet towards Percy,
and
I'm gonna wait. How far is Jacqueline above us if I were to move 10 feet from Percy?
Oh, they got you. No, I got you. They're on opposite ends of the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
How big is the room?
Sorry, I forgot. No, it's all right. It's roughly 90 odd feet across. It's like a 90-foot square.
Okay. So it's one or the other. I'm going for Percy. I'm gonna go 20 feet towards 20 feet towards Percy, and then I'm 10 feet away.
22 fries, 22 burgers.
None of my fries, none of my shakes. I'm gonna go 10 feet away from Percy.
Okay.
That's possible from where I am right
yes,
now.
Yes.
And I'm a poke at the thing.
Oh, that's right. You got that reach. You got that glaive.
I got that reach, baby. So I'm gonna be just enough away and then
just catch him on the... No, that's enough. That's enough to make contact. Yeah. So normally you would have disadvantage, but because Percy is grappling with the wizard, you have advantage. So it's going to be a regular straight roll.
And that is going to be... can I still use one of my points of inspiration for that? Even though I don't know what the advantage-disadvantage situation is.
You can't double up advantage, unfortunately. So if you have advantage and disadvantage, it just cancels out, so you have a straight roll.
So that's gonna be a straight up. What do I add to that with my glaive? That's gonna be an 11 to hit.
An 11 to hit. Double checking because they don't have great AC. Okay. That would be a hit. However, it can hit. However, one more check of the... I need to see if it requires you to be able to see the target for the shield spell, or if you can just vibe it.
Wait, what? I can't see the person that Percy is actively...
Oh, no, you can see them. I just have to see if the spell specifically states that you need to... Yeah. Until the start of your next turn, reaction... It doesn't state that they need line of sight. So they could perhaps just activate it in fear, hearing the battle growls of Zorvarax thundering in their direction, knowing that they are in a compromised position. So I think they will do that and use that last shield spell. As Zorvarax lurches forward, the end of their reach just being able to clip the wizard, but the wizard, now fearing for their life, being wrestled by Percy and hearing Zorvarax approach, holds out their hands as matrices of light appear in front of the blade, and the glaive is rebuffed against the shield.
That's a shame. Zorvarax grunts in frustration, and then he girds himself, uses his action surge.
Ooh! Okay, you can. Just know that the shield is still active.
I know.
Okay.
And that's gonna be that's gonna be a 19 to hit.
Meets it, beats it. 19 to 19. Yeah, you hit.
Finally. Okay, so let me see. What I actually have to roll for damage. I got excited. I moved over the 10 plus. Okay, so plus 3. Oh, that's only 6 damage.
6 damage on an already injured wizard, though, kind of sounds like lethal damage, if you wish it to be.
Fatal damage?
Yeah.
I will say on my second attack, Percy, your effort was not to waste, and plunge it through the face.
Oh!
I can't quite see it. I assume I can kind of see the head and the cape, and I just push it right through the side.
Oh!
Just,
Percy, holding the cloth in place.
I would think it's like it goes like over Percy's.
Yeah.
Cape. Yeah.
Just watches as the blade like comes out the other side. Probably gets like a few splatters on the glasses. You hear like the quivering, gut-wrenching squelch of Percy's stomach.
Yes, quite a noble effort indeed on both our behalves. Going to be
Dirty
sick.
job, Percy, but someone has to do it when the time is right.
And the time is now.
But that is a felled wizard. I'm going to make a note of that here. All right, which means it is Devotion's turn, unless you have anything else. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are going to see how Devotion's feeling. Gonna make a save. Devotion.
Bathroom, so I'll be right back.
Yeah. Oh no, do your thing. Devotion pokes her head out of the fight, seeing some of the wizards now getting the better of them, starting to fall, and seeing people who she once called friends and comrades, now dying before her, is not shaking her feelings of trepidation, begins to skirt away further from the battlefield, taking more cover from behind the bookshelves. Peric, Stasia, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Just sort of like hunkering down behind the bookshelf and watching as her old friends are felled. Does not make any counterattacks. Okay, so that is Devotion hasn't shaken her fear. That is going to be Creep. I almost couldn't read my own writing. So Creep only has one wizard to fend off now, which is the same wizard that was fighting Theor. Or I should say Theor was fighting them. Which means I believe the blur is broken. So, Creep is gonna make a strike against that wizard. Take a look at my... Ooh, okay. Attack bonus. Okay. Oh, is the shield until the start of your next turn? So the shield would still be active, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Okay. So, unfortunately... with that attack bonus, but plus the shield, Creep's claw strike tries to penetrate the barrier which the wizard has put into place. Oh, sorry. running through my math again. Sorry, different wizard, so no shield. However, now that it is a new round, Jacqueline can invoke her other reaction as her eye twists in place and stares at her ally.
I have foreseen this moment, and you did not die this day.
And will actually impose a penalty on the hit, which will make that miss. Double checking. Precognitive. Okay. Yep. With advantage or disadvantage. So she only has 2 of those left. So you can see Jacqueline watching from her perch above the battlefield. Her eye glows with otherworldly light as she speaks her visions of the future into the world as Creep is trying to push his claw into her ally. But Creep! Strike! Creep! As the claw swings wide, Jacqueline unraveling fate before your very eyes does not hit the Forsaken Wizard. Creep is not gonna move, because there's really no reason for Creep to move, since he's so angry and he wants to hit all of these bad wizards. But speaking of bad wizards, it's Jacqueline time, baby. Alright, so, I'm gonna do a quick roll for Jacqueline. Oh, I am so very sorry. Jacqueline trains her eye on Creep yet again as she recharges her formerly used ability, Glimpsing the Temporal Flood. As she scowls down at the Nothic. Making sure. Okay, I thought everybody froze for a second, but you are still here. Grimacing down at the Nothic.
Creep, it appears your misdeeds have not fully undone you once, but twice surely will fell you.
As Creep attempts to make a save. And unfortunately, the mind of Creep is not enough to withstand the psychic pressure of Jacqueline. That is going to be another 13 points of psychic damage as Creep falls to his knees, puts his clawed hands on either side of his head. Jacqueline, hurt! Creep! Creep must hold! And then finally you can see sort of all the light in his eye fade as he falls over, slumping off onto the side, onto the stones. He is unconscious and at 0 HP. The anime roar erupting from Zorvarax.
I have no potions or anything to help him, so I don't know how I can save this boy.
That is the question. That is going to head into the wizard's turn. So we have, although I could trigger a legendary action.
Should you though?
I mean, that's the question. Should I? I can. Certainly I can. I think I will, just because Theor is a pretty big threat now that one of the wizards has been felled, and if one of your big meaty tanks has been knocked out, certainly knocking out the other big meaty tank is probably a good idea. Oh, Garrett, looks like you have something to say?
No, I thought it was you weren't allowed to do legendary actions at the end of your turn. You can't do them at the beginning of your turn.
Yes.
And also, like, leave the meaty tanks alone every so often. You know, just like hang out, just take a break.
Speaking,
5-minute rest.
You are a meaty tank. That's why you're saying that.
Clarifying question really quick before it gets to my turn.
Yes.
We said, I believe the rule is you can do 2 spells if one of them is a bonus action cantrip. If one is a... Can you do 2 spells?
Technically you can. Typically you can't. God, remind me, Garrett. I know you have this rule in your head, the standard rule. I think it's like you can do... One has to be a bonus, one has to be a leveled spell.
That's essentially... You can't cast... The wording is really specific. Let me
yeah.
This is what level 1's all about.
Yeah, that's right. Here's an educational moment for everyone out there learning how.
Okay. You cannot, if you cast a spell with a bonus action, you cannot cast another spell during the same turn except for a cantrip with a casting time of 1 action.
Dope.
And for the most part, bonus action spells are leveled, and
Yeah.
cantrips are almost all actions anyway. So
Cool. Thank you.
We love to see that. There you go. An educational moment brought to you by Level 1 Adventuring. All right. Now, back to horrible things happening to the party.
Can I ask another question about D&D mechanics?
I would love for you to ask that question about D&D mechanics.
Explain to me. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Theor. Jacqueline's eye wobbles into place and trains down on Theor.
I, a valiant knight of the realm, brought low before a lowly Forsaken.
As boom, there's a flash of light. Can Theor give me an intelligence saving throw?
probably not very well, but let's see. 18.
Ooh, okay. She has been proven wrong in that moment. Theor grunts from get out of my head, you witch! As you can see him struggling under the psychic force, but does manage to push through it. No psychic damage there on that legendary action. However, it will still filter over to the regular magician's turn. Do we have anything else that could be used? Okay, we do. First things first, I am the realist. This is a bonus, yes? Yes, it is. Okay. You can see the wizard sees that Theor is still bearing down on them, and in a flash of light grabs the sides of their cloak, swings it upward, and much like Jacqueline, disappears in a flash of light, and reappears moments later across the room near one of the bookshelves. Now out of melee range from that very angry-looking knight, trains a hand in Theor's direction, doing some magical incantations as another frosty beam of light erupts in Theor's direction. Now this one, I believe, is a ranged spell attack. So let's see how that goes. Ooh, it does not go well. Grand total of 8. So teleports away, but Theor saw that move coming a mile away, lifts up his shield as the ice batters against the broad side of it, sending fractal shards in all directions. I will not fall for your sorceries today, and drops the shield. Deflects the blow. So that was a bonus action and action. And I think the wizard will use the rest of its movement to just get a little bit more distance away from the party. And that is going to be everything for the Forsaken, which means, Yoan, you are now up with, both Theor and Yoan are up.
Battlefield report. What are we looking at?
Battlefield report. You got one wizard who has now moved and teleported, so they're about 60 feet away, hunkering down near a bookshelf. And then you have Jacqueline, who is still scampering around on the ceiling, within 30 feet of Theor, 60 from Yoan.
And that's it for enemies?
Yeah, there was only 3 ambushers at the time.
Alright, shooting my shot. Yoan is going to point his wand at a book, and he's going to sweep it toward Jacqueline.
Okay.
Catapult spell. So I need another DC 13 dexterity save with her stupid magic resistance.
With her stupid magic resistance nonsense, I would love to. But the first roll is very bad. Second roll is slightly better. Actually slightly, I do not mean slightly, it's actually much better. That is going to be a 17 dex save.
Damn. Oh, that's a saver suck. Damn it. Okay, so nothing. That's 0.
Jacqueline sees the book careening toward her. She jumps and sort of paradoxically, you imagine like she would jump and like land on the floor, but jumps and then like scoots herself back onto the ceiling, belly up, before righting herself back on her feet.
Too slow. Is that what they teach you?
It's her ground.
Yeah, the ceiling is like her ground.
She built this.
Is that what they teach you over there at the Magisterium?
I'm not even going to dignify that response. And then if Yoan can take a little cover, he's going to take a little cover.
Okay. Yes, there is a bookshelf nearby for you to hunker down behind. Okay, so then you got Theor and then Gray.
Theor is going to level his... you said 60 feet away is that other friend of mine?
Yes.
He's going to close 30 feet.
Okay.
Drop his longsword at his feet, draw his heavy crossbow, and
Ooh.
And chunk.
Where are my d20s? There they are. Is this disadvantage?
No, because you had dropped their blur. However,
This guy.
yeah. However, there is still a bit of cover from the bookshelf, so that is something to contend with.
Well. But burning and spell. Screw it, I got a ton of inspiration. I'm gonna burn one. 15 to hit.
Ooh, 15 to hit does strike true.
No but?
No, but they've used all of their shields and you've dropped a blur, so I think that is the full gamut of their defensive protections.
Amazing. 8 piercing damage.
Oof. Do you want to narrate what happens to this poor wizard?
So this is the one that teleported and did the frost magic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that as the frost magic was happening, he was like gaining ground step by step. Drops his sword behind the shield, and when he pulls the shield away, the heavy crossbow comes up.
Oh, hell yeah. The wizard takes that shot in the gut. The force of it lifts him off of his feet, and you can see at the other end of the bolt boom, sort of like nails him into one of the bookshelves, and his lifeless body hangs there for a moment, defeated.
On a bookshelf.
You know, the wizard died as they lived, attached to the bookshelf. Yeah. So that leaves only Jacqueline left to contend with, and she is still standing firm, but looking a little shaken now that her cronies are being whittled away beneath her.
Must be sad.
Gray, that is going to be you.
Yeah, I don't really have a ranged attack. If I were to cast Magic Stone,
Mhm.
would you count throwing a stone as an action?
I believe I know we figure this out every time we do, but it's been a while, so we're gonna figure it out again. So it's a bonus action.
I don't even mean throw as an attack. I don't mean throw the stone as an attack.
Mhm.
I just mean toss it to a comrade.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean it's a bonus action to ensorcel the stone, so you would still have your action left if you wanted to hand it off to someone or, you know, what have you.
Okay.
Or throw it, I guess.
Because I don't really have a range attack, so I'm going to go ahead and cast Magic Stone. Wait, what's up, Garrett?
Can't you?
You should be able to bonus action cast a spell, object interaction give one to somebody, action throw one.
Oh, true. Nice. The oft underutilized interact with an object free action.
So, am I close enough to Jacqueline to give her one? Or not Jacqueline, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, you're just like, actually, yeah, I'm gonna betray everybody. Yeah, let's. Oh, that's hilarious. You mean devotion?
Yes.
If you move, you can definitely commune with Evanescence, and you would still actually be 30. You would still be 30 feet away to chuck the remaining stone at Jacqueline.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cast Magic Stone, and similar to our previous fight with the Mimic, I'm going to toss her a stone. This time, maybe just like not without love, but with a little bit more annoyance. Toss her another magic stone and just reiterate the word safe, but say it with a little bit of anger. And then I'm gonna turn toward Jacqueline and just
a magic stone rips through the air of the library. I believe that will need to be a attack that adds your spellcasting modifier. Yes.
cool. Yeah, 1d6. Does it hit?
Oh, well, yeah, you'll have to roll the d20 plus your... Yeah.
It would be a 15. I'll go ahead and roll inspiration. Why not? I've got it. Unless a 15 hits. It does not, does it?
15 actually.
Oh.
I'm looking through her abilities now to make sure she doesn't have any means of undoing this.
Last minute shields.
Oh my god! I just did you see my chair? I accidentally adjusted my own chair underneath my butt. It scared me so bad.
If you fell on live Twitch, I would lose it. It would be so
Listen, sub for...
Well, if your chair like broke in the middle part,
sub for pratfalls.
it would be a whole different time.
A whole new world.
We have a different show on our
Listen, the TOS, the terms of service will not allow.
Scream in the way I was hoping that wizard would scream.
No,
It's like the Wilhelm scream.
Is our Twitch gonna be stopped like instantly?
Yeah, you've doomed this broadcast, Zorvarax. All right, so I think with that, I do have one. But did she use a reaction? I think she did use one reaction this turn to twist fate against her friend. So she does not have another reaction to defend against your pebble. So yes, the 15 will strike and she can't defend it.
Amazing. That's so embarrassing for her.
Yeah, she should. It's psychic damage, even though it's actually
whatever you're gonna do.
A rock because it's just hurting her.
Okay, I'm gonna roll. Okay. I did roll with advantage for the attack.
We love it.
Didn't do much better, but I got 8.
Okay. 8 damage is still a hit. Is a hit. Is a hit. Is a hit.
That's a hefty hit.
Yeah, it's a hefty stone.
I'm a pretty strong girl.
Jacqueline, still getting her bearings after dodging the incoming projectile book, just twists her head in time to see a ensorcelled stone.
I aim for her feet to try and knock her off the ceiling.
Well, here's what I would say. I would say you could try to affect her positioning, but I would have probably asked to affect your accuracy if you were also... So if you're just going for the damage...
Okay, I'll just do damage.
Okay. Her one eye sort of wobbles in that direction first before the rest of her, sort of like the eye foreseeing the strike. She tries to once again unravel fate before her, but does not have the time to do it as the stone cracks against her, dealing damage. Still standing, but you know she's now you're starting to see some blood trickle out the corner of her eye.
Aye, so we have more magics to contest with. I'll be seeing you soon.
As she like frowns down at Gray.
What's her face? Evanescence see that?
I
actually couldn't. Devotion.
Devotion does see it. Yes. Devotion does see it. And as she watches Jacqueline get, cracked in the head with the stone, she looks down the stone that you've handed her, and sort of like looks back up towards Jacqueline, and under her breath you can almost hear her murmur, "Safe." And there is sort of a renewed vigor there. You may be turning the wheels there. I'm gonna make a note of that. I'm gonna say devotion. Okay.
A little butterfly effect symbol shows up, like in the Telltale game.
Devotion will remember that.
Devotion.
But the butterfly isn't until dawn, right? The butterfly effect isn't until dawn.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I mixed the two.
Yeah.
That is going to go back to the top of the round if you're all said and done, Gray. And with that, as we've been seeing, the books swing around, they chitter, they batter as the leatherback volumes attempt to pound you into unconsciousness. That's going to be some dexterity saving throws from our friends here.
like these books. Why? I mean, I like books. I just don't like these books. Dex, you said?
Yes.
17 for Zorvarax. I'm lucking out with the Dex saves, but not much else.
Spend some inspiration. Dirty 20 for Yoan and a 5 for Theor.
All right. So once again, 10 or higher. You've seen these books come and you leap out of the way as they slap into the pavement beneath your feet or against the wall uselessly. 10 or lower, those books fall upon you in waves and they bank against you for 3 points of bludgeoning damage. Devotion, now spending a couple of rounds cowering and dodging books, still manages to leap out of the way, is not slapped around. However, Percy... Percy, who is already not doing too hot in the health department, sort of catching his breath from watching that visceral display of the wizard felt in front of him. Yes, a time for dirty poing! Like, you see the book just crack against his face so hard it leaves, like, the imprint of the words on the title against his cheek. His glasses go flying off. Percy has been reduced to 0 hit points and is now unconscious. So both Creep and Percy are unconscious. And that means, speaking of top of the round, first person up is Percy. So Percy is going to make a death saving throw. Oof. Okay. Luckily, rolls high. You can see him laying on the floor. There's a trickle of blood pooling at the corner of his mouth. His eyes are sort of, rolling in the back of his head. You can probably imagine he sees this, like, warped, distorted battlefield. Uncle! Hold firm, Percy! Hold strong! Manages to make 1 death save success. That is Percy's turn, which means Zorvarax, it is your turn.
And I was just 10 feet away from Percy.
Correct, you are very close to Percy right now.
But how far am I from Jacqueline?
Ooh, because she moved around, so you would be 60 feet away total.
Shoot, so I can only move 20 feet.
Well, the ice actually only lasts for the turn that it struck you, so you are now freed from...
30 feet.
Yes.
Okay. I will say, hold strong, Percy! And then I will run 30 feet towards Jacqueline.
Okay.
So that I would be 30 feet away from her?
Correct.
Even though she's above me.
Yeah, correct.
And I will say, you want magic? I don't need magic. And breath weapon.
Oh, nice.
So I'm gonna do, so she has to make a DC 12 saving throw.
DC 12 saving throw, and this is technically not a spell, so her magic resistance cannot apply here.
That's why I said I don't need.
I don't need no spells. We don't need no stinking spells. Ooh.
I don't need no spells here.
Okay, so
I already rolled mine.
So the first one's looking bad, but let me take a look at her abilities one more time. You saving throw, ability check, or okay. She is going to try to precognitive insight once more to see if she can save herself from this breath blast. Ooh, okay. So, with viewing the strands of fate, you watch as your maw opens up. There begins to be electricity growing at your lips. Oh my god, yes, atomic breath weapon. As you say, we don't need magic, as Jacqueline smiles. Oh, but dearie, you might. As once again, you see her move with unnatural swiftness, foreseeing this very moment to come. That is going to be an 18 dex save.
Oh, man. Well, that's okay, because she still takes 4 damage.
Okay.
So half of 8 would be 4, so... You can miss it, you can dodge as much as you can, but you still get burned. I got a little blood out of it.
You watch as she once again moves with natural swiftness, but electricity crackles against her skin.
You might not be strong in the ways of magic, but I'll still find a way to put you down, Dragonborn.
She's still standing, but damaged.
I'd like to see you try.
That is good. Oh, you moved. You breath weaponed. Is there anything else you want to do?
I don't think I have a bonus action I could do at the moment. Anyway, So that's it.
So that's yes, that is the answer. All right, so we're heading into Devotion's turn. Now Devotion is clutching that stone, so we're gonna make this save here. I'm gonna give her advantage since she's holding the stone that makes her feel safe. Ooh, and that is a success. As she, one's hand clutching the stone, the other one holding her wand. She's sort of bent down. She's been spending this whole time sort of whimpering and cowering, as finally you see a crack of light crackle at the edge of her wand as she indignantly stands and looks at Jacqueline. Jacqueline Stone Eye, you have done enough damage. You have terrorized this frontier. You have terrorized we, your forsaken, your chosen, your found family. And I won't stand for it anymore. None of us will. And you can see Jacqueline, glowers down. You don't know what words you speak, Devotion. I know full well what I speak, Jacqueline. And you will not speak for me anymore. As she, readies her wand and releases a bolt of arcane force from its tip. She's gonna try and strike her. All right. That is going to be
What's the Evanescence song? What's
wake me up.
Yeah, wake me up.
I honestly, if we would not get copyright struck for playing that song right now, that would be the perfect song to play for this moment. A bead of arcane force rips out from her wand. It does strike true, and she can't bend fate because she's already used it to dodge the dragon breath. So that means that the defiant bolt released from Devotion, which is dealing, double checking, a solid 6 points of damage.
I mean, not as much as my rock, but okay.
No, you had a magic rock, okay?
Biggest hit, for sure.
Okay. Pierces the shoulder of Jacqueline as she sort of holds the wound and looks down at Devotion in a twist of confusion, of anger, but at this point, fear. As Jacqueline is now bloodied and very much reconsidering her position in this fight, given the circumstances. Devotion is not going to move, is just going to stand with her wand pointed at, with Jacqueline staring her down. So that means it's going to be Creep's turn. Unfortunately, Creep is on the ground. Yeah, just a pool of ichor at his flesh. Oh, but does manage to hold firm, sort of his claws flexing against the stones. Books. just like punch drunk from getting buffeted, but still holding.
I shout back.
Books.
That's my battle cry now.
All right. Seeing the battlefield kind of turning away from her favor, Jacqueline looks at the party. Let me double check this.
Don't you say it. Don't you say it.
Jacqueline looks at Devotion, says, "Fine. If this is the path you've chosen, you can walk it, but it won't be in my shadow, girl." As she takes the side of her cloak, pulls it up towards her face as a veil of illusion ensorcels her, and she disappears from your sight, becoming invisible. And as she steals herself from your vision, you can hear the pitter-patter of footsteps above your head, moving to some unseen direction, but definitely away from the magically locked door at your backs.
So whose turn is it?
Well, so here's...
Who can chase after her?
Well, technically the next person would be the wizards, but they're dead, so it would be Yoan, but I'm going to offer this to the party because I know we have an out at 10. So... With Jacqueline retreating from the fight deeper into the complex under the cloak of an invisibility spell, do we want to say that this might be a good moment to pause this session, and then we can pick up next session with hopefully trying to chase her down and bring her to justice?
Yeah, but she better not heal.
That sounds about right.
I make no promises.
In theory, if I were to morph into a wolf, could I smell her? Could I track her that way?
You would have, if I'm not mistaken, wolves have advantage on perception checks that pertain to smell, so you would not suffer the same disadvantage of trying to find her without your sight.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, on hearing or smell. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Good to know.
So I think with that, I'm gonna turn on the more chill soundtrack.
That's
so
probably a good pause.
Yeah, that feels good. Thank you, everyone who stopped in to watch some Level 1 Adventure. We had some people filter in and out throughout the night, and your time and energy is always appreciated. This has been our D&D campaign, The Shards of Chaos, coming back again to Wednesdays near you. If you are new here, what are we? We are a TTRPG stream platform. We run group games like D&D. Those are new episodes on Twitch, old on YouTube. We run solo RPGs. We run digital RPGs like Baldur's Gate. There's tons to see. So please follow us on all platforms. We are actually, if I'm not mistaken, we are like a little over halfway to getting monetized on YouTube. So like if you want to, throw us some more subscribes there, we'd really appreciate it. But that being said, I'm going to also plug, speaking of all the things that you can do on Level 1 Adventuring, the play-by-play. Hey, if you like D&D, and I know you do because you watched this, go to our Discord and you can play D&D with us. We have a play-by-post West Marches campaign server, multiple DMs, player factions, single story. Very fun. Whether you're new or old, we'd love to have you. And if you check out the Discord, it has all the instructions on how to join. Big shout out to Streamlabs, StreamSpell, Tabletop Audio, all the services. We have links down below to all of them that we use to make our stream a better place to watch. And if you stream and you want to use those services too, use the link. You'll get a kickback. We get a kickback. Everybody's happy. With that, I think that is my usual thing that I say. So this time, while everyone is giving their outro, I'm going to I'm going to pepkern it over to Lauren. I'm going to have Lauren start since Lauren didn't get to start last time.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. So much fun as always. One little thing that I can plug, if you're into the D&D world, I feel like I am obligated to plug the Freedom Guild. They have a podcast. They're on TikTok. We'll be coming out with videos soon. I do play a rock gnome there. So.
It all makes sense.
It's great fun. But thanks for tuning in. Popcorn Garrett.
I'm Garrett. It's been great having you here. You can connect with me on LinkedIn because I have no other social. Get my numbers up. Popcorn Zach.
Hi, I'm Zach. I have been your Dragonborn friend for the last couple of hours, and I am in the same boat as Garrett in that I don't really use social media all that much. So you can find me on LinkedIn. I do have an Instagram, but I don't really do much with it. So
hey, God love you for staying off of it. Honestly,
I'm just happy to be here, and I hope you all come back for our next session whenever we're able to meet up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clutching, yeah. With that, I think that is all the usual things that are said. I'm gonna say drink water, get some sleep, get some rest. We love to have you. I'm gonna roll our outro that shows all the people who are monetarily supporting us on the Discord and Patreon. And then after that, we're gonna see you next week. So have fun, everybody. Till then.